Kakaaki Social is coming up next. Ohima Amaize is standing by to bring us what's been trending in the social media space throughout the weekend. Ohima, great to see you. What's happening?
Yeah, thank you, Tive. Good morning. Welcome to Kakaaki Social. I am Ohima Amaize. This is the segment of the show where we spotlight the issues that shape conversations in the Nigerian social media. Jubilation in Aso Rock as WAEC releases President Muhammadu Buhari's attestation of results. Of course, this issue has been an issue that has trailed the president since the 2015 presidential elections, the issue of did he actually sit for his WAEC examination. And then on Friday, the news broke. WAEC officially came to present the president attestation of his results. That issue set off a firestorm in the Nigerian social media. I got a lot of Nigerians talking about this issue over the weekend all through till even this morning. Nigerians have been talking about this. Let's go to the social media and take a look at how this panned out. Premium Times filed the report saying members of the President Buhari's cabinet in jubilation mood as WAEC presents attestation certificate and confirmation of school certificate result to the president. As you can see in the image you saw before now, and even this one, you can see the president's men in a very celebratory mood, celebrating that development. President Buhari officially tweeting from his handle said, "Today, I received the attestation and confirmation of my 1961 West African School Certificate WASC examination results from the registrar of the West African Examinations Council, WAEC. It was also an opportunity for me to thank WAEC for upholding its integrity over the years." And then he continued in another tweet. Let's take a look. As a Nigerian military officer, it would have been impossible for me to have attended the Defense Services Staff College in India in 1973. And after that, in 1979, the United States Army War College, had I not sat for the WASC examinations, which I did in 1961. These are the words of President Muhammadu Buhari. And then again, in another tweet, a final tweet, he said, the late General Shehu Musa Yaradua was my classmate. We spent close to 9 years in boarding school at primary and secondary levels. And from there, after our WASC, he moved to join the army, where we had to take a military examination as one of the requirements. This has got a lot of Nigerians talking. Presidential spokesman Femi Adesina was one of the first Nigerians to go on social media to talk about this thing. This was what he tweeted. He said, "WAEC presents attestation certificate and confirmation of school set results to President Buhari. What will the naysayers say next?" Well, let's take a look at what the naysayers are saying. From Twitter user Mr. Stanley Nwabia tweeting at Mr. Stanley Nwabia, picture number 1. 2017, India's government celebrates commencement of work on new bullet trains built in cooperation with Japan. Picture number 2, 2018, Nigerian government celebrate Buhari's Oluwole WAEC attestation. Of course, the naysayers are talking already. Let's take a look at more comments. From Naizema tweeting said, Buhari had B3 in history in the WAEC result he showed us in 2015. He has A1 in 2018. He wrote mathematics in 2015, and mathematics has disappeared in 2018. Lots of comments we saw over the weekend and up till this morning over this issue. Abdul Mahmoud one tweeting said, statement of result by school, Mohammed Buhari. Document issued by the army, Mohammed Buhari. WAEC attestation certificate, Muhammadu Buhari. They are different. Nigerians are drawing contrast between what we saw the president present in 2015 as his WAEC results and what WAEC has now issued on Friday. Bolanle Cole tweeting said mathematics disappeared from Buhari's 2018 WAEC results, just like how $20 billion disappeared from NNPC. Also, history increased from B3 to A1 in 2018 WAEC results, just like how fuel price increased from 87 to 145. And let's take a look at this. Actually is the result, as you can see from that image, and you can see President Buhari's picture. This is a picture of an older President Muhammadu Buhari on that certificate. And let's go on and take a look at more comments on this issue over the weekend. WAEC actually came on Twitter to make a statement about this, but we'll take a look at that shortly. Uncle Ajala tweeting said, how Buhari wrote WAEC in 1961 with bald head should be in Guinness Book of World Records. Interesting comments from Uncle Ajala. And WAEC has tweeted, and WAEC is saying that let's educate ourselves a bit. 1, President Buhari was given attestation of results, not a certificate. 2, attestation of results is given to a candidate whose certificate is damaged or missing. 3, It carries the passport photograph the candidate submitted during application. So the third issue WAEC is saying now suggests that President Muhammadu Buhari actually applied for a new attestation of results. And WAEC disagrees with presidency, says Buhari applied for results. You recall that Garba Shehu had said that WAEC just did this on their own. The presidency had nothing to do with this. The presidency did not apply for the president's WAEC results. They had commended WAEC actually, but WAEC is not disputing that, saying the presidency actually applied for the president's attestation of results. Let's take a look at excerpts from this report. Let's take a look at first what Garba Shehu said. He said, no, the president did not apply for the documents. I made this clear in an opinion I wrote on Friday. The presentation of the documents to the president was strictly an initiative of WAEC. These were the words of Garba Shehu. But let's take a look at this Punch report from the Punch. While the presidency insisted that Buhari didn't apply for the results of the West African School Certificate Examination, which he claimed to have sat for in 1961, the examination body said the document was issued because the president applied for it. WAEC spokesman Damienos Ojijiogu stated this in an interview with Punch correspondent on Saturday. Ojijiogu, in an interview with Sunday Punch, said, quote, "We would not have given him the documents if he didn't apply. It is only Buhari or a court that can ask for the results. There is no other person. So he asked for it." End quote. And then from Kelvin Odanza, tweeting yesterday, Saturday, said, breaking. It appears the attestation certificate given to Buhari was not authorized. WAEC officials are currently in a marathon meeting over the issue, and they are considering suspending Nigeria from the examination council. We cannot authenticate the veracity. We cannot verify this report at this time, but this is what was tweeted yesterday by Nigerian Kelvin Odanz on Twitter, saying that WAEC is currently meeting over this issue. And on a very hilarious note, the president's parody account tweeting at the Buhari said, "Even people that have honorary degrees are angry that I was granted honorary WAEC today. Why so much hate? Why so much hate, Nigerians?" Okay, from that issue now we move on to ASU has declared a nationwide strike. Nigerian education sector in crisis as ASU declared a nationwide strike yesterday. The news broke last night on the social media. Let's take a look at comments from Nigerians on this matter. The man you're seeing on the picture, of course, the Minister of Education, Adamu, breaking ASU begins nationwide strike. All academic staff of universities were directed to withdraw their services immediately. Nigerians, especially students that have been affected, are on social media talking about this issue. Let's take a look at commentary that has flooded into the social media within the past 24 hours. Of Benedicto tweeting said, ASU strike is bad for everyone, not just students. It affects the whole country. If you know, you know. So it's nothing to mock the federal government about. Being an academic by default, I am standing with ASU until I see reasons not to do so. And then let's take a look at from Ladi Speaks tweeting, ASU went on strike during your BSc. ASU went on strike during your Masters. ASU went on strike during your PhD. How are you not tired of Nigeria? Expressing the frustrations of Nigerians. And from Kwemi Babalola tweeting at Kakoti1, what you can learn during ASU strike: 1, graphics; 2, hairdressing and how to barb; 3, musical instrument; 4, driving; 5, art and drawing; 6, apply for internship; 7, learn the nitty-gritty of your parents' business, become an apprentice. People in power don't have any plans for you. Words of advice to Nigerian undergraduates affected by the ASU nationwide strike. From Shonife_, we saw this tweet. It was just 1 month till I was done with this UI. And now ASU has decided to go on an indefinite strike. Why? Oh my God, he actually had just 1 month to graduate, and now ASU is on strike. And from High_Rick, ASU strike just came as a thief at night. Of course, in trying to talk about how surprisingly ASU declared a strike yesterday. From IAM_Matakins tweeting said, ASU is on strike, so you mean I can sleep by 4 a.m. and wake up by 4 p.m.? I guess that's a lazy student. And then from King of the Sky, we saw this tweet. If only ASU was our top striker at the World Cup, Argentina wouldn't have stood a chance. Of course, we can tell that ASU strikes every now and then. From Jacob_Kosun tweeting, ASU strike is 92% good news to university students except final year students. Well, interesting. I didn't know about that. Seems there are some students who are happy that ASU is on strike. And from Alawari_, we saw this tweet. We are gradually losing our culture. ASU normally strikes every 4 years like World Cup. Now they want to make it yearly, like you see. I'm tired. Hashtag social media hangouts, PA Specials hangout. And then, of course, we move on to this issue that was trending, or has been trending for a couple of days now. The Alaba international market came on the global scene, or on the social medias. An American journalist speaking at a TEDx event in 2017 gave the Alaba international market lots of accolades, talking about it as a global model for business. Let's take a look at how Nigerians were talking about this things. Folabi Williams, I watched this TED Talk using the Alaba international market as a case study. And I can say, with quoting from the video we're about to watch, and I can say with almost certainty that the Igbo apprenticeship system that governs Alaba International Market is the largest business incubator platform in the world. Robert Newith, TED Global, speaking at the TED Global event in 2017. Robert Newith is an American journalist. He spoke at the TED event where he talked about the Alaba International Market, and this video is being circulated widely in the social media from Olufemi Awoyemi tweeting, also quoting from that video, saying, quote, largest business incubator platform in the world is the Igbo apprenticeship system deployed at the Alaba International Market TEDx Talks, locally generated venture capital at work. And then, of course, we saw one more tweet. Alaba Market does $4 billion turnover annually. The government doesn't have any data around that informal market. Yet, it was built on Igbo apprenticeship principles and locally generated venture capital. This is the biggest business incubator in the world. From Olayinka Nature, we saw that tweet. But let's take a look at this video that is trending currently in the social media.
Interesting thing is that this mutual aid economy still exists, and we can find examples of it in the strangest places. So this is Alaba International Market, and it's the largest electronic market in West Africa. And it's 10,000 merchants. They do about $4 billion of turnover every year. And they say they are ardent apostles of Adam Smith. Competition is great. We're all in it. Individual government doesn't help us. But the interesting reality is that when I asked further, that's not what grew the market at all. There's a behind-the-scenes principle that enables this market to grow. But in reality, this market is governed by a sharing principle. Every merchant, when you ask them, how did you get started in global trade? They say, well, when my master settled me. And when I finally got it into my head, well, ask, what is this settling? It turns out that when you've done your apprenticeship with someone you work for, they are required to set you up in business. That means paying your rent for 2 or 3 years and giving you a cash infusion so you can go out in the world and start trading. That's locally generated venture capital, right? And I can say with almost certainty that the Igbo apprenticeship system that governs Alaba International Market is the largest business incubator platform in the world.
Wow. And then more comments from Nigerians. For Lauren Shaw that tweeted said, age-long practice that has produced millions of entrepreneurs across the country just getting noticed. The Igbos look so successful in business because of this training and apprenticeship system they go through, and of course the support startup capital that comes with it at the end. And then from a Real Dark Comedy tweeting said that Igbos should be proud of their heritage. There are so many useful cultural practices being eroded by Western culture. And then we saw a comment from at Twitter user Buhari supporter tweeting said, very good way to mentor entrepreneurs. Also, you can also have a stake when you help the graduates of the system, when you help the graduates of the system start their own business. I love this system because only the patient, loyal, and determined entrepreneur can survive in this system. And then from Okedi General, not only in Alaba market, in fact, it has become part of our tradition. The system was developed after the Civil War to help alleviate poverty among the Igbos. And that's from Tallman04, worked in Alaba last year. The info is very true. Do you know that the market is one of the most isolated locations in Lagos? 24-hour traffic, bad road, erosion and flood issues. We need a government that will explore data from there and use it to make informed policies. And then we move on to Instagram, where we look at softer issues now. Traditionalists flogging each other during a masquerade festival today at Oregon, Lagos. Let's take a look at this video and some of the comments that followed.
Yeah.
Why would young Nigerians just start flogging themselves? And from Keith Franklin's, I remember doing this when I was growing up. It was so much fun, but only for those who can endure the pains. And from Stunning Beauty Collection, now Buhari caused this thing, huh? If job day, I'm sure they would not flog each other like this. And from St. Franco, this could be Rocha, Sokorosha, and Oshomole. And from Spatched, we saw these comments, and people say Nigerians don't celebrate Halloween. If you don't like the white people own, please support your local Halloween. And from Chris Franklin's again, I remember doing this when I was growing up. It was so much fun, but only for those who can endure the pains. And then, of course, yesterday, Tiwa Savage made Nigeria proud when she won the Best African Act at the 2018 MTV EMA Awards. Tiwa Savage that clinched the award yesterday. Let's take a look at this very short video as she arrived at the red carpet of that event that happened in Bilbao in Spain.
Hey Dave.
Hello, how are you?
Tiwa Stu Savage on your latest award, Best African Act at the MTV EMAs, happened yesterday in Bilbao in Spain. Congratulations once again. And on this note, we wrap up Kakaaki Social this morning. Follow the conversation on all our social media platforms at Kakaaki Social, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you missed the show this morning. The video of this show is going to be up later, shortly. Handing you over back now to Utive and Chikodinaka.
Yes, indeed. You can never miss a beat on Kakaaki Social. And, of course, the entire program follows on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Ohimai, and that interesting Tiwa Savage look there, cutting what looks like a Kerry Hilson look as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best.